Welcome to Live United. I'm your host, Milton Little. During the month of November, our nation celebrates Veterans Day. On November 11th, we collectively band together to honor those who have either defended or continue to defend our country. We honor them with parades and heartfelt thank yous, and we proudly display the American flag. And while these acts of thanks play a major role in the public's acknowledgement of the brave service veterans provide for our country, we can do more. When veterans return home, they face steep obstacles. In fact, veterans are 50% more likely to become homeless than any other American. In Greater Atlanta alone, 12% of our homeless population happen to be veterans. They're living on the streets or in shelters, struggling to regain their place as productive citizens. And while 80% of these veterans qualify for supportive services, only 32% gain access to these services without the assistance of a support organization. That's why United Way started Vets Connect. In working with nonprofit partners, Vets Connect provides funding and services to help veterans get back on their feet. Today on the first segment of Live United, you'll hear from Vets Connect experts on how they're able to deliver this much-needed program. And in our second segment, you'll hear from a formerly homeless veteran who was helped by our Vets Connect program, as well as a veteran and a 211 referral agent, and about her experience as a vet and what it's like to be helping her fellow vets. Now, joining me for our first segment is Daniel Drew. He's United Way of Greater Atlanta's Vets Connect project manager. And we also have Kelley Henderson. He's the COO of Action Ministries, a very proud partner with United Way fighting veterans' homelessness every day. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you, Kelley, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Daniel, let's start with you.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about sort of the background of Vets Connect, just what it does, why it was even necessary.
Well, thanks for asking, Milton, and thank you for having me. Like you mentioned, 12% of our homeless population are veterans, but there was a time when that was at 21%, and that was a gross overrepresentation in our homeless community of veterans. And we noticed the need there. We have a long-standing partnership with the VA. So we wanted to make sure that veterans are connected with the services that are out there for veterans. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. Like you said, about 80% are eligible for services. So the services are out there. We just need to make sure that we're connecting veterans with those services and filling any gaps that we need to make sure that our veterans can get out of a homeless situation if they're in one or prevent homelessness to begin with.
So what's special about Vets Connect? I mean, you said there are lots of agencies out there doing it, but what's the special magic of Vets Connect?
Yeah, well, we work with great partners like Kelley at Action Ministries to really connect the people that are doing the work in the field. We want to make sure that we're all working together as one group rather than in our own silos. So we make sure that we're connecting veterans with organizations that can do the work and with the VA with benefits that they may not have known that they were eligible for.
What I've always found special is the way that veterans themselves play integral roles in Vets Connect. Say a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. We use veterans in a lot of ways. We like to give them a chance to do the work in the field, not just be recipients of the work, but give back. So we've had veterans that are members of our peer outreach team, and they go out into the community and find other veterans that are experiencing homelessness and give them that hand up.
There's probably nothing better than a vet who's been there talking to another vet and showing by example what's possible.
That's exactly right. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, great. So Kelley, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Action Ministries, and then sort of zoom in on what its connection to Vets Connect is all about.
Sure. Well, first of all, Milton, thank you for having me on the show. It's a real honor to be here, and we're a proud partner of United Way and a proud partner of the Vets Connect program. Action Ministries, we believe that every individual deserves an opportunity. And by working through partners like the United Way and hundreds of others, we can make a difference, one person at a time. So for the last 53 years, we have really done a deep dive throughout Georgia to address issues of hunger relief, housing for the homeless, and educational gaps throughout our community. And we're excited to say that this year we're going to serve about 2,000 homeless individuals across 35 counties in Georgia, including all of Metro Atlanta. Now, how that directly relates to Vets Connect is we really see Vets Connect as a key partner and frankly a key driver of relationships throughout the metro Atlanta area. Without this network, many of us would be off doing our own thing. So it's a way to bring us together, to share ideas, to share resources, to really roll up our sleeves and start doing the work that is needed to end veterans' homelessness. And we can do that one person at a time.
How big a piece, if any, was a veterans service strategy a part of the Action Ministries portfolio?
Well, since 2012, we have had fully dedicated resources across 26 counties in Georgia to serve homeless veterans. Since that same period of time, we've actually housed about 1,300 veterans. We're on track to serve 500 this year. And it's become a core component of our entire housing strategy. So not only are we using Vets Connect, we're using our relationship with the VA and leveraging those relationships by bridging with other partners. We're actually giving priority placement in all of our housing programs for veterans. So we hope to leverage that real passion around this cause to really put a dent in the problem.
Daniel, Kelley was just talking about some of the impacts through the lens of Action Ministries. What's been the impact from the Vets Connect perspective?
Yeah, so last year alone, we placed over 650 veterans who were on the street or in shelters into permanent housing, and they're doing great. This year, we plan to house 500 veterans, focusing on trying to get about half of those to be veterans with families with children. We want to make sure that we're improving the well-being of children so that we can improve the well-being of the community as a whole. So we're connecting them. We're really focused on aftercare and longevity. So we're connecting them with other resources once they get into housing so they can become self-sufficient, like job training or employment positions, benefits, financial coaching, legal aid, whatever it is that that person or family needs, because we know that there's not a one-size-fits-all solution to homelessness.
So when you talk about 500 or 600 veterans, I mean, to the ordinary person out there in the public, they must be shocked at that number of people on the street needing this kind of help.
It is shocking, and we're doing a great job at cutting that down. Veterans on the street in the city of Atlanta since 2011, the number has been reduced by 50%. So there are still many out there needing services, but we're doing a great job at reaching all of those veterans and making sure that we connect them to services, and if they're not eligible for services, see how we can fill those gaps.
A number of cities around the country have sort of claimed that they had cleaned up the number of homeless veterans on the street. I mean, Phoenix and a number of other cities. I mean, how close do you think we are to really getting it number down to zero?
We're doing a great job of really getting there. Really, the idea is to end homelessness for all those that come into homelessness and make sure that there's a system in place so that if somebody does become homeless, they can be rapidly rehoused within 30 days so that homelessness will be brief and non-reoccurring. And we're getting very close to being able to make a claim of that at the City of Atlanta as well.
So Kelley, a veteran calls you up, or they show up at the doorstep of an Action Ministries office, and they're asking for help. What do you do?
Well, first of all, we address the primary need that we see as housing. If you can't get the housing right early on, the other things don't stick, as the way we approach it. So what we do is we say, we're going to get you, as Daniel referenced, we're going to get you stably housed within 30 days from our first conversation. Then we're going to couple you with a case manager, a professional case manager that gives you a personalized, client-centered approach to getting back on your feet. Connect you with appropriate resources and partners, because we can't do it alone. We partner with United Way, homeless coalitions all over the state, Project Interconnections here in Atlanta, First Step Staffing, Atlanta Center for Self-Sufficiency. There are dozens of agencies that are doing great work outside of the housing sphere to really solve veterans' homelessness. And if we can get a vet connected to those resources and motivate and coach them forward, it's unlimited what can happen.
Well, the important idea of connecting veterans and your agency to all the other agencies out there that have a piece of the solution is important. But I want to go back to something you said just a second ago, that when they show up, you provide them housing. You know, it wasn't always the case that the first thing that happened was you solved their homelessness problem. Say a little bit about how things used to be and how big a breakthrough idea, this idea that the first thing we do is house them.
It is a breakthrough. It's commonsensical, actually, but it's a breakthrough for the industry. Housing First is really grown to be the model that we all approach. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense to get the housing taken care of first. Now, there are challenges with doing that. Landlords want to see income. They want to see other things lined up. But we can negotiate on their behalf and advocate on their behalf to make us a good competitive partner to work with them. So it is a breakthrough, but I think that is a big reason why we've seen the numbers go down 50%. And that's a pretty solid trajectory. I think we're on the path to getting this right because we're doing it right.
Yeah, I remember the days when a homeless person had to earn housing by going through all kinds of other services before they could get into a house. It is a breakthrough, but it just seems so much like common sense. So I'm still that homeless person coming to the door. What kind of issues beyond homelessness do they typically present?
Well, there's a litany of things that our client base deals with. It could be substance abuse, it could be mental illness. Many of these have been driven by the homeless episode itself. Just the sheer stress of being homeless shuts down everything in your life. So being able to help a client or a partner to be able to convert that stress into urgency or motivation is a first step to getting them on the way. And so stress is a big deal.
So we have a minute left, so I'll close with you, Kelley. And I know Action Ministries, and I know it to be a place of incredible storytelling about the impact that you've had. Is there a story or two you can quickly share with our audience about the difference you've made for a homeless veteran?
There are so many stories out there, as we know, but I was recently touched by a guy we'll call Dave. Dave was a self-proclaimed Navy man back in the 80s, served his country proudly for about a decade, and ended his service honorably, went on to finish his college degree, and then his health fell out. Ended up on the street. So Dave's now back with us. We're working with Dave on his VA disability claims, and he's looking for work because we got his housing in order. So Dave is an inspirational story for me, and we're ready to see what the future looks like for him.
I'm so sorry, I got to cut you guys off. What a great way to end the show.
Thank you.
Kelley, Daniel, thank you very much for everything you are doing to end homelessness among veterans and help these folks get back on their feet. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Priya, the spokesperson for United Way. United Way and dedicated community partners have teamed up to create the Financial Capability Network, where trained financial coaches help people in our community become financially literate. That means teaching people things like how to track spending. I think I found a problem. Half of these are for gummy worms. It means teaching people how to build savings. Gotta start somewhere. And it means teaching people how to plan for the future. Wow, at this rate, when I'm 16, I won't have to shake my folks down for a car. United Way's Financial Capability Network is awesome. Hi, I'm Priya, and I'm the spokesperson for United Way. United Way helps make communities awesome, but do you know they have a lot of help? Well, now you do. United Way has a ton of help from people just like you. Oh, and me. People like us, I like to call communitarians, because we care a lot about our communities. For us, caring means doing something. And United Way helps turn all of our caring into a whole heck of a lot of doing. United Way is powered by awesome communitarians. You should totally join us. And hey, I know the best way in. Hi, I'm Priya, the spokesperson for United Way. And I'm here to tell you how United Way's Impact Fund makes our community awesome. When you give to the Impact Fund, good things happen. We build teams of nonprofits to work together to help kids stay in school, make sure they have a doctor to go to, and help our communities become better places to live. So what are you waiting for? Give to United Way's Impact Fund to keep making our community awesome.
Welcome back. In the last segment, you heard about how United Way and its partners are bringing together the people and the resources necessary to help our homeless veterans. Now, it's time to hear from vets themselves. Joining us now is Gracie Hamlin, a formerly homeless veteran and CEO of W-Underdogs, a nonprofit with a mission to lift up disadvantaged children by helping rescue animals. We're also joined by Lauren Canty, a veteran herself and the United Way of Greater Atlanta client referral agent. Welcome, Gracie. Welcome, Lauren. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Gracie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your service in the military, and just tell us about your entry into homelessness.
I joined the military in 1997 out of high school. I was going to college, and then I just was doing too much in school, and I wanted to put my skills work and go to school. So I joined the Army because it offered both opportunities. It was a great experience. Met a lot of amazing people from all over the country who experiences that would have never brought us together. And then I got out.
How long did you serve?
3 years.
Okay.
And I got out in 2000, a month before 9/11. And my brother was a Marine at the time. So I decided to stay in California and work for Raytheon as a support contractor. And then eventually I ended up moving to Atlanta. And the homelessness became a problem for me because when I got to Atlanta, I got hurt on the job. And it caused me to lose my job. And unemployment ran out. And it happens. You know, you don't think you're going to find yourself in that position, and you do. And I was very lucky to have found a United Way to help me through it. I don't have a lot of family, so it was a blessing.
How does one, as a veteran, make it in the street homeless?
I honestly, Milt, I don't know. I guess it happens, you know, choices, situations, you know. And then the support, maybe lacking the support.
So how'd you connect to Vets Connect?
A veteran referred me. And I've said it before that not all services promised to veterans are what they say they are. So I was a little hesitant about 211. And then I called it, and they were very quick to connect me to services. And next thing you know, I'm in a program that's, you know, addressing all the things that I needed help with at the time.
Did it matter that it was a veteran who made that introduction to you or for you?
Well, at the time, I really didn't even know it was a veteran I was talking to.
Okay.
I just knew it was United Way. And then knowing that, I'm sure it's very reassuring and supportive.
So what happened that helped you get back on your feet?
I got the support to get the lights turned back on. I got a place to live, and just the confidence to give me a chance to get back on my feet.
So tell us about W-Underdogs. First of all, where'd the name come from? And then what's it all about?
So W-Underdogs, while I was living in this neighborhood, there was a lot of young kids running around, and there was a gang picking them up. So I had a rescue of animals, and I asked their parents if it would be okay if the kids could come in and help me with the animals, and they said great. And then before you know it, the partnership of the animal and the child was beautiful. It was helping me adopt more animals out, and I was seeing the difference in the children, how they went from being really hard to just seeing the real sweetness and kindness and the things that we kind of miss when you're seeing a kid on the street. You see a bad impression when it's really not like that. So originally the program started off as the Underdogs, and I was cool with that because I love being an underdog. It feels like I've been an underdog my whole life. But eventually the kids got to change. We're changing laws, which we're addressing the state of our community. The kids are learning how to advocate for themselves, but through all of this work is done through the animals. So originally we use animals to teach them how to find their voice. And then once they find their voice, I'm hoping that they will learn to advocate for themselves, their community, and the issues that are going to matter to them when it comes, you know, to their time. So as we started making changes and doing good things, became the W for the wonderful work that they're doing, and became W-Underdogs and all at once. Then it felt really good. You know, then it's like we own it, we're changing, we're making a difference, and I'm really proud of them.
And what difference is it making for you?
For the first time, I feel like I'm doing something that's worth, you know, putting all my time and effort into it. It's
That's
very
amazing.
rewarding.
Amazing. Now, before the show started, you told me about how many animals there were and how many kids there were. Tell the audience what you told me.
I can't tell you all the numbers exactly because but we have rescued in the last year 60 animals from the street.
Wow.
And over 60 plus spays of cats. We've homed over 40 animals. And yeah, so we have a lot of, and the program's growing. So we went from 5 kids to 15 kids in a 2-bedroom house. So we are definitely looking to expand. The work is amazing. The kids are running down the street with stray animals, which is a great, blessing that the kids are seeing how they can help the community and help another being. But yeah, it's created challenges since we're running out of space in the house.
Well, at the end of the show, we tell people where to go if they want to learn more, so you better look out.
Great.
Lauren, tell us about you. Tell us about your service. Tell us about United Way, and tell us about what you do as part of 211.
Well, I'm a client referral agent for United Way 211, and yes, I am a United States. I'm in the United States Army as a reservist. So when we do have veterans that do call United Way, we give them resources for veterans, such as the SSVF program, which is a supportive services for veterans' families. So, for example, if Gracie needed assistance with her rent or electric, we can do an application for the veteran to receive financial assistance, and that could be for rent, electric, that could be for rental deposit. If homeless are coming out of homelessness and they need that extra foot up to get into an apartment. And you mentioned having children in your facility. I remember Daniel Drew saying as well that they do like to help veterans with families, because a lot of veterans, when they do separate from the military, they don't know which way to go. And it's important when you do have a family that you keep them stable. And that's where the supportive services for veterans' families, where they do play a part.
So what else, when the veterans contact you, whether it's a call or email or what have you, what do they generally say? What are they asking for? What do they need?
Mainly overall, I would say housing, because a lot of veterans, they do fall on hard times, and if they don't know where to go to get services, they end up homeless, and they want stable housing so they can become employable again. And from what I see and what I hear, that's the most important thing. Once they are in a home, then they can focus on employment. They can focus on if they have PTSD or any type of mental health issues, they can focus on getting help for those issues, and then everything else seems to fall in place.
So in the Vets Connect portion of the show, we talked a little bit about the important role that a veteran can play in talking to a homeless veteran. Do you think your reservist status has any influence on how you're able to connect with the veterans who reach you?
Yes, because I see it on a monthly basis. When I do go to drill, I do have battle buddies, what we call them in the military, that have gone to war. And it's one thing for you to hear about it on the news, but to know that I had a friend that served for 8 or 9 months or 10 months, and they were in that environment, you know exactly what they go through. It's not as easy as just going to war and coming home. It's a transition. It's a transition to go to war. It's a transition to come back. And I think civilians don't understand that. And you have to definitely have a better understanding of what a veteran goes through in the time of war, and be a lot more empathetic to when they come back, because they want to be able to what's the word I'm looking for? They want to be able to be in society with everyone else, but it's not that easy, because once you've seen war, it's not that easy to come back from it.
So what's your experience in that space, Gracie? I mean, you were military, you come home. On the outside, those of us think it's a fairly easy transition, but what's your experience?
Well, I was fortunate that I didn't have to go. I supported it from the home front. However, my brother did go. He was a Marine, and he came back a little confused, and I didn't have the answers. And that was the one thing I don't think we understand, is that they come back with a lot of questions and doubts and things that we aren't equipped as civilians to provide those services. So I'm just really, I can't imagine, that. But I really appreciate the conversation, because I think we do need to talk about our veterans when they come back, and they need our support, and we got to figure out a way to make coming back to the States easier.
So we have about 2 minutes left, and I'll ask each of you this final question. So if there's a veteran out listening to this show, what do you want to tell them, Gracie?
Just keep doing what you do. You're doing it. I mean, you're working. You're appreciated, and your life is in your hands. So just, I don't know, it's okay,
That's good. Lauren, what do you want to tell them?
Do not give up. The services are there, and it's definitely, you have to take advantage of those services, because you gave your time, your effort, and sometimes it could be your life. Do not give up. There's someone out there that will listen to you. They have Vets Connect. They have United Way. You can always call those agencies, get counseling. You can always call those agencies to get referrals for jobs and for food pantries, or just anything else that you may need as a veteran, because those services are there for you and for you to use.
Thanks very
Thank
much,
you.
Gracie, for all you do for the animals and all those children. And Lauren, thank you for what you do to reach out to those who contact you and give them a sense of hope and opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
There's so much great stuff that gets done by people like Gracie and by people like Lauren through United Way. We're making a difference with veterans. This Veterans Day, put your arms around a veteran. Tell them thank you for their service. And if they need some help, tell them to contact United Way at unitedwayatlanta.org or reach out to United Way through 211. We'll see you next time.